So the Dallas Cowboys currently sit at a place where they are a really good team, right? On paper, their team is absolutely amazing. They have all of the assets possible to go win a Super Bowl. The biggest problem is once they get to the playoffs, can they actually get the job done? That's the whole situation that they find themselves in every single year. So I decided to take a little piece of their Super Bowl team. That's right, Deion Primetime Sanders, and add him to the 2024 Dallas Cowboys to see how this will go. And to be honest, I'm kind of excited because Madden in general, franchise mode, they love the Dallas Cowboys. Like, it is insane how much of a man crush they have on the Cowboys. And they'll already put the Cowboys in the Super Bowl every year I do franchise mode. I can't imagine once you add Deion Sanders, arguably the best cornerback of all time, to this squad, how much Madden franchise mode is getting like an automatic smile on their face. Like, yes, that's what you need to do. Make the Cowboys better. Anyway, though, they do lose to the Ravens, but then they destroy the New York Giants. They play the Pittsburgh Squealers in Pittsburgh here, and they beat them. Well, let me not talk ahead here. They play the Detroit Lions, and they actually lose that game, so there you go. I just automatically said they beat them, but they lost to them. Their schedule is definitely difficult. They play the 49ers, the Eagles, the Texans, the Bengals, the Bucks, Eagles, and Commanders, which, again, even though the Commanders don't sound like a tough team, they always give the Cowboys and the Eagles somewhat a fits. So those are actually tough games. It's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the season goes. But if I'm playing Madden franchise mode, the Cowboys automatically going to get some love. 5-2 49ers, the one team that always, wow, they destroyed the 49ers. Okay, usually the 49ers and the Packers are the two teams the Cowboys can't get past, and they just destroyed them, so that's interesting. And then they lose to the Falcons 25-21. What is going on with this? Now they play the Houston Texans, okay. They beat the Houston Texans. They play the Commanders in Washington, and they beat them. Again, a lot tougher than you would think. They beat the New York Giants for a second time. They play the 5-7 Bengals, and they go ahead and lose to the 5-7 Bengals, which is ironic because the Bengals always struggle versus the Cowboys. Throughout history, it's always been like that. So it's interesting how the Cowboys are actually able to lose to us. I am a Bengals fan, by the way, in case you're wondering why I said us. Nonetheless, though, they beat the Buccaneers. They're 11-4 currently, own the NFC East. They play Philadelphia in Philly, and they lose that game. And now they have an interesting game. If they can beat the Commanders, they win the division. But if they lose this game, potentially they get knocked down to at least the 5th seed. So let's see. Can they beat the Commanders for a second time? And they lose to the Commanders, and they also lose the division. That is insane. So they had the division won, and all they had to do was beat the Commanders, which, again, always gives them fits. And they end up losing, which knocks them down now to the 5th seed and puts the Commanders in the playoffs, which is the biggest kryptonite of the Cowboys. So they play Atlanta in the wild card, which they've already lost to Atlanta earlier in the season. Let's look at stats, though. Let's look at what Deion Sanders actually did this year and how well of a year he actually had. So Dak Prescott, 23 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 4,000 yards. Zeke Elliott, 1,300 yards. I don't think he'll have 1,300 yards this upcoming season, to be honest. But 1,300 yards for CeeDee Lamb. Going down this list here to defense, we have 11.5 sacks from Micah Parsons. Interceptions, 0 interceptions for Deion Sanders. That is so surprising, to be honest. So he wasn't really that much of an impact. I mean, I'm sure he helped out a lot to, stop people from throwing the ball at his side. sometimes it's not always the fact of you making plays and getting stats as a cornerback. Revis Island was a thing for a reason. Nobody wanted to throw the ball toward Revis's side because he was Revis Island. Throw the ball at his side, you're going to automatically lose. But anyway, we got Falcons, wild card. How did this go? And they beat them 33-0. So in the regular season, they lost 25-21. And here they beat them 33-0. They played the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly in the divisional round. And the Cowboys do the typical Cowboys, which is they lose. And they lose in the playoffs in the divisional. Maybe they might win one game in the wild card, but they lose divisional. And now we have the Chiefs versus the Commanders in the Super Bowl. What even is this? Chiefs and Commanders in the Super Bowl, and the Chiefs wax the crap out of the Commanders. Okay, so we got Chiefs win the Super Bowl. Brian Cook wins MVP, surprisingly enough. The Chiefs also win 37-17. And yeah, that's what happens when you put the Dallas Cowboys, you put Deion Sanders on the Dallas Cowboys. It went well, but with the same results in the end because they're the Cowboys and they're always going to lose in the playoffs? Dang. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him win a playoff game if he's in Dallas. That's it, boys. Peace out.